Welcome to the STP Summer Nationals here at Sandsapod for round 3 of the 2019 Motorsport UK British Drag Racing Championship for Pro Modified. We have 8 teams this weekend, with the UK represented by Wayne Nicholson, John Webster, Bobby Wallace, Kev Slyfield, Nick Davis, and making a welcome return to the class is Mick Payne. Unfortunately, Bert and Andy and the Hot Rod aren't on the list after their top-end crash at the main event, but they're repairing the car to hopefully get out again for the end of the season. Also entered this weekend is Mark Hartveld from the Netherlands with the Voodoo Hemi Plymouth Superbird. From the south of France, Jean Dulemont. Current points leader Mark Hartveld and the Voodoo Hemi team are looking to defend their lead in the championship. They ran their first 5 back at the main event, and that's a number many of our teams will be shooting for, not least of which is Kev Slyfield, who's run several 6-0s this season. Our good friend Jean Dulemont and the team were out testing yesterday, and they ran this stunning 6-0 with their new engine on board. Hopefully plenty more to come from the Bad Apple Camaro this weekend. Everybody is willing them to do well. So we're on to qualifying proper here on the Saturday. Wayne Nicholson with a repaired Lucky Devil. Although you wouldn't know it, to be honest with you. Still immaculate as ever. Helped out by Lucas Oils. Going to be taking on the returning Mick Payne. Now Mick with that Camaro, he's been around in Pro Mod a little while now. That car has been around in Pro Mod now for on for 20 years, would you believe? Having trouble reversing back to the start line, Wayne Nicholson and the team are ready to go. Good to see. Mick Payne is now as well. So they both nudge towards the beam. This is Mick Payne's first run of the season, and he rolls the beams. Unfortunately, he won't get any laps time. However, I don't think Wayne Nicholson will either. Problems off the start line, and Wayne just rolls to a halt around about half track. So Jean Dulemont going alongside John Webster. John is another man that's made great strides this year with the Turbo Ford Mustang, while Jean actually leaves before the tree's activated, so he won't get any laps time. It was a pretty good looking run as well, to be honest with you. Such a shame he's not going to pick up an ET. However, John Webster rolls on through with a 751. Picks it a bit early. Nick Davis taking on Bobby Wallace. These two are going to be butting heads all season long. Bobby with a huge nitrous engine on board now in the Willis. Nick with the twin turbo power. Bobby out in front but clicks it off early. Nick goes through with the 658, 223, low ET so far. Now, key to that, I say so far because both of these two can eclipse that by at least half a second, maybe even more. Your points leader in the Motorsport UK series, that's Mark Hartveld, having a dream season in 2019 after all the hassle they had last summer against Kev Slyfield, repaired from that shot D&Q at the main event. I think that was just a test run and it looked like it went well for Mark Hartveld. 6 flat, 241. Mick Payne for the second qualifying session. He had a pretty good run earlier, just didn't get any laps time for it. That doesn't look too bad either. As I said, this is his first event of the year. Takes it on through with a 200 mile an hour past 202, 736. So, Bobby Wallace, the massive engine in that, over 900 cubic inches, as is Jean Dulemont's actually. Now, the potential in both of these machines is for 5-second runs. Whether we see that from them by the end of the season, no idea. They're both trying their absolute hardest to get quicker and quicker. However, there's no point in trying to make a big step, because if you try and make a big step, unfortunately sometimes that can lead to lots of busted stuff, and then you end up having a very expensive end to the season, or no more racing whatsoever. So, Bobby with shake off the start line. John's got a much better run going this time, and he's going to get an ET, 6:13, 2:31. That is his quickest run in any form of competition by some margin. Well done to them. I just have to say, he didn't run that 6:0 on Friday, but that was in testing. That was his quickest ever competition and or event run. So, Kev Slyfield, another man looking to get into the 5-second zone. He's been as quick as 6:02. The crew have done a tremendous amount of work on the car, fixing things after the main event. They were just a huge surprise to be a DNQ. Up against John Webster. John's car makes its characteristic move for the wall, but he reins it back in. Kev goes 6:03, 2:34. Oh, so close again to a 6:43 for John Webster. So Mark Hartvelt with the Voodoo Hemi. He went into the 5s, one and only time this year, back at the main event. 6 flat, nearly did it in Q1, up against Nick Davis. Well, Mark goes over towards the wall. Nick flies on through with the Firebird again to a 6:25, 2:36. Nicely done to the whole team.
A fantastic weekend at main event, getting down into the 5s, and not quite there yet, but very, very close. So the car's going okay.
Yeah, the car's going okay. The first run today we run 6-0 flat, and the second run just right off the start line, it goes to the left side. So we have to change the rear end.
Well, we've put a camera in the awning so we can get a film of what people are doing for the next hour, but it looks like no one's particularly busy. There was obviously no damage.
There is no damage now. Everything is okay, so we have to check everything and make some small adjustments on the car, and hopefully the third qualification run going straight. We measure the clutch after every run, and when it's okay, we leave it there. We change clutches when it's over the limit. Yeah. So now it's okay. Tonight we change the clutch for tomorrow. Yeah, we check the oil filter, we check the valve lash, check everything is on its place, and then everything together. Warm it up and go again.
He makes it sound so easy, doesn't he? Nothing easy about Pro Mod racing. So Kev Slyfield on the team, hopefully just doing routine maintenance, as we get a wonderful fly past before we hear from Bobby Wallace.
Well, Bobby, it's good to see the old car back with the big engine in now. Interesting run that time.
Yeah, it was a little bit interesting. Yeah, as soon as we let the clutch up, we had instant shake. On the first qualifier, we didn't have enough clutch, and on the second qualifier, we had too much. But hopefully, we've got it right this time. We've gone for a ratio change, so hopefully, we'll be in the right place now.
You already seem to be down to the same sort of times you were running previously with the other motor, so I'm guessing that you're hoping that you can actually start pushing this one a bit now and really start getting towards the zeros.
Yeah, we put the same settings in from the smaller motor, and it straight away run the same numbers, really consistent. So hopefully we can push it a bit more. We've gone for a new ratio in the rear end, so hopefully we can get a bit more mile per hour out of it, because we seem to have lost that at the last meeting, but hopefully we can find it again now.
So the last qualifying session for Pro Mod coming up, and a bit of a nervy time for the Lucky Devil team of Wayne Nicholson, because they haven't got any laps time on the board yet. One man that has, Mick Payne, down in the low 7s, over 200 miles an hour. Let's see what he can do on this one. Another pretty strong run for Mick, over 200 miles an hour again at 2:09. No improvement in position though. However, Wayne desperately needs an elapsed time. Well, he's got a green light, and it looks like he's going to get one this time. Will it be a 6? It is indeed. 6:86 at 2:04. About half a second off where they normally are. However, they'll take it. Means they're in the show. Okay, so it's for bragging rights and positions on race day tomorrow. Nick Davis, Bobby Wallace. Let's see if Bobby and the team have got the setup right this time. problems for Nick Davis off the line. Let's see what Bobby does. 6:20 at 2:24. He has just dipped into the 6.1s before, but that's very close to his quickest ever. John Webster scrubbing in some new tyres, or just trying to ruin some old ones, I think, to be honest with you. The twin turbo Mustang looking for a step up in elapsed time, as is Jean de Le Mans. Whoa, big shake for Johnny. You can see that off the start line. Jean keeps his foot in it all the way too. Nice straight run as well. 6:42, only 2:03. Falls off pace a little. Well, effectively the numbers 1 and 2 in the championship. I say effectively, Nicky G is number 2, however he's not here this weekend to contest this. This could be for the number 1 spot. It's currently 6 flat with Mark Hartfelt. It's now 5.97 at 2:39 for Mark. Kev Slyfield goes 6.16 at 2:22. Awesome way to end qualifying. Congratulations to the whole Voodoo Hemi team. Like I said, after the accident last year, they spent a whole year rebuilding the car. I think that's why they bothered doing it. What a terrific weekend so far. Big smiles all round in the Dutch camp. Also, much better for the Lucas Oil Lucky Devil in Q3. Everyone glad to see that. But what happened in the first qualifying session to Wayne?
Yeah, the first run, we were held up quite a lot on the start line, really, by the guy with the yellow Camaro, the one with the really big fuel tank that can run forever. Probably everybody else doesn't have a fuel tank quite as big as that, including me. So it's probably just as well we had an electrical fault, because when we got back to the pits we had 1 gallon of fuel left in the tank, and had we made the run we'd have destroyed the engine. So I suppose it's a little bit of good luck in a way. We sat the second one out to fix the problem, and then we've just run a 680, but a lot of people think it's a 6.0, but not yet. It will be, but not just yet.
So you're going into eliminations a bit happier?
Yeah, a lot happier, yeah. I think we've got Kev tomorrow, and Kev and I are pretty good friends, so no doubt there'll be a little bit of needling this evening, and I'll do my best, and I know he'll do his best as well.
We had a bad main event. The heads didn't work how they should have done. The transmission was playing us about. We've done a lot of work since the main event to get back where we should be, and it's hopefully paid off.
So the motor setup you got, it's pretty much identical. So all your data is pretty much valid.
Yeah, we're quite happy with today. Although we haven't got into that magical 5 yet again, but we're getting close.
I guess it gives you that challenge, doesn't it? It's so close. Every single run you can see, you're looking up at the time board and the crew, and they can't really look deflated when you just run a 6.0, because that's still quite an achievement.
Yeah, I mean, it's very close. It's a 0.3 is so close, but it's just not, as I say, not that magical 5. So.
Well, John, the car's still moving on in the right direction generally time-wise. It wasn't necessarily going in the right direction on that run. That was quite exciting from the outside.
Yeah, it's a bit busy in there for a little while. We were held in stage for quite a long time, and it crept a bit of boost, so we overpowered the track a little bit on the first 60 foot, and got a bit crossed up.
But you're happy with the way the development's going still?
Yeah, we're kind of still struggling with this boost controller. It functions in a kind of way, but not what we're used to in the equipment that we have been using. And targeting the actual boost we want seems to be quite difficult. And then it goes into its max. We're only allowed to run this 36 psi, which is built into the actual controller. So it reaches that, and then it cuts off effectively, like just kind of flat lines it, which is fine if it's at 36 psi. But it's that bit in between the start line and reaching that we're kind of struggling to kind of get some sort of linear curve to it, So, but yeah, it's just time.
Well, that's the qualifying list as it stands after 3 qualifying runs. Mark Hartfelt with another 5 at number 1. Kev Slightfield in at 2. A career best number 3 qualifier for Jean de Le Mans. Fantastic to see the team, after all the hard work, all the miles they put in travelling up to Saint-Tropez from the south of France. So happy for them to be doing so well. However, quick shout out to the turbo cars as well. Both Nick Davis and John Webster, when they get handle on those, they are going to be absolutely, well, they're just going to be so tough to beat, to be honest with you. Everybody knows it, and we know it's coming. It's just how long it's going to take. Also, a quick word for sadly missing from this weekend, Chris Isaacs, another guy with a turbo car, is making great strides. We do hope they're back out sometime very, very soon. So round one of Motorsport UK Pro Mod action here at the SPRC SDP Summer Nationals. And the first pair is Bobby Wallace and Nick Davis. Now, Nick's been around in Pro Mod, well, I beg your pardon, he hasn't raced Pro Mod for some time. He was racing Pro Mod 20 years ago, which is quite a feat considering he's only 21. Bobby Wallace, however, I think Bobby is about 21 to be honest with you. Well, Bobby gets a slight jump off the start line, big tyre shake. You can see air under the tyres for Nick Davis. That's not what you want. Bobby, though, storming run. Down into the 6.1s again. New personal best, 6.18. 227 miles an hour for the family. Excellent stuff. On board with Kev Slyfield in his office. Yeah, that was that from the outside. Looks rather sedate when you see him just sat there, to be honest with you. However, Kev has been around in Pro Mod for quite some time now. His previous ride, the Willis, was quite handful by comparison to this Thunderbird. It wasn't as quick. It certainly wasn't a 5-second car, which is what Kev is hoping for with this ride. Maybe today, maybe at the next event, who knows, but they're not going to stop trying. Also, up against Wayne Nicholson. He ran a 6.8 in qualifying. He's been down into the 6.2s before. Stonking launch for Kev Slyfield. Will this be the one? Ladies and gentlemen, it is. 596, 236 miles an hour for Kev Slyfield. Years and years of work and countless amounts of money, hours and hard work from the crew. He's cracked it. They are overjoyed, as are the Lucky Devil team for them, to be honest with you. Wayne Nicholson loses out with a valiant effort, but on board with Kev for his first ever 5-second run. Just comparatively sedate, but well done to Kev and the whole team. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it was a hell of a lot of fun. John Webster and Jean Delemont. Number 3 qualifier taking on the number 6. Jean was down in the 6.1s. John, not quite as quick as we've seen him before with the Mustang. However, they are chasing an issue in that car. When they find it, I'm sure it's only a matter of time for Johnny and the gang. They know what they're doing. Well, both away together. It's John Webster out in front. And a big nitrous pop for Jean Delemont. 640 at 223 takes the win for John Webster. A lose out 705 for Jean. That's really sad for him after such a good weekend. So your last pair, Mick Payne, Mark Hartfelt, 5-second car. Well, Mick leaves a cherry on the tree. It will be Mark. It doesn't matter what he does, he's going to take the win light. And he does it in style. 6.12, 238. Mick Payne was 0-2 on the tree in the red. So Kev Slyfield comes back to the pits. To be honest with you, actually, they might even pack up and go home after this. I doubt they will. They love racing. However, this has been such a long time coming. Even the car gets a kiss.
Well, Kev, many years coming, building up to it, several cars, and it's been a hard struggle with this car, but you've made it in the end.
Yeah, I can't say how pleased I am. It's been absolutely fantastic. Long time coming. Everybody's been willing us on, and yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Now, you're obviously doing it without a major sponsor, which is the truth for pretty much everybody in this country, but you have got good help, haven't you?
Yeah, my crew are absolutely unbelievable. None of these people could do it without a crew, but my crew are fantastic. I mean, yesterday, well, we had the engine in parts and the transmission in parts 3 times during the 3 rounds, and they worked so hard. It's brilliant. Wow,
everybody's rolling down from the semis. Can Kev's crew composed themselves enough to turn the car around for the semi-finals. Hopefully there was no damage and he's in the lanes for this round of racing. He's due to take on John Webster. Bobby Wallace will be taking on Mark Hartwell. Now, Mark Hartwell was slightly off pace in that round 1 win with a 6.12. However, I'm sure they know where the 5-second run is, and I'm sure they'll be able to do it again almost at will. However, now would be a good time. He's going to be taking on a very hard-charging Bobby Wallace. Whatever they seem to do to the car on race day, it does seem to like it. He just ran his quickest ever run. I'm sure they're going to be trying to creep up and go that little bit quicker. Also, he's absolutely killer on the tree, and he does it again. 0.06 of a second hole shot, a big wheel stand, and he's out in front of Mark Hartwell. But the most important measure on a drag strip is the finish line, and that goes with Mark Hartwell. 6 flat beats a 6.15. Bobby Wallace's quickest ever run, and a stonking reaction time, and unfortunately for him it wasn't quite enough. Well done to Mark Hartwell, the Hemi team. So, who will the points leader be racing in the final? It'll be one of these two, John Webster or Kev Slaughter. Now, Kev went into the 5.9s for the first time ever. The good thing for them is they now know where the settings are to make that car run in the 5s. John Webster, a little way off from 5-second performance, but it won't be too long. It's only round the corner. It's just a matter of time till they figure it out with the turbo car. Well, it's John Webster with a slight advantage off the start line, but Kev Slyfield by 3.30's already got a car length and over the finish line. 6 flat at 2.36. That's his 2 quickest ever runs twice in a row. Good try from John Webster at 6.37, but it will be Mark Hartwell and Kev Slyfield in the final.
Well, Mark, you're in the final again, but it's been very close this time. You've been neck and neck with Kev every single run. He's done his first 5 as well. You were both 6.0s as well last time, so any thoughts?
Yeah, we going faster and faster, he going faster and faster, and finally we are on the same setup now. Both 5.9s, yeah, great.
So the 5.9 setup is what you had last time when you ran the 6.0, was it?
Yes. But the weather is changing now, so it's difficult to do the right thing.
So the last 5 minutes almost, the temperature seems to have really gone up and it's gone a lot more humid. How many changes can you make on the car for that sort of change?
Yeah, we change the fuel and change the clutch. So it's difficult. So you look for other races, what you have done, and then you make a final point from okay, we do that.
Well, it's now the build-up to the final. All the sportsman racers coming around for theirs. How nice is that? They're giving each other a hug and a good luck before this all-important final round race. I think this is for the points lead as well. Whoever wins this one goes home at the end of the weekend with a Motorsport UK points lead. So just a match race we also have before the final. The 2 turbo cars, John Webster and Nick Davis. Well, they're both very, very even indeed. I'll tell you what, if that was a round race, that would be great. 6.22 at 2.39 for Rob Loring and Nick Davis. So the all-important final, Kevin Mark, this will happen a number of times throughout the season. However, this race marks the halfway point in the Motorsport UK British Drag Racing Championship for the Pro Mods. Let's see who's got the setup changes right. Will it be Boody's Hemi team from the Netherlands or the Blown Bird down there on the coast in the UK? Kev Slyfield has been UK Pro Mod champ before. Well, the jump off the start line is to Mark Hartwell, 0-1 to 0-4. My goodness, that was close. Kev had to pedal it. That was all Mark Hartwell needed to take a 6.04 to 6.22 win. Absolutely epic weekend for the Pro Mods here at the Summer Nationals. You can see Kev's car drift. I think he had to pedal. Mark's wasn't exactly going straight either, but he hung on to it. And that's their first ever win as a team for the Voodoo Hemi guys. Just awesome stuff. There we go. All the work rebuilding after the crash last year, all worth it with the big win. So at prize giving, it is Kev Slowfield picking up the runner-up trophy, but top step on the podium. You know who. I think, to be honest with you, he'll probably just float home across the sea on his own, without a boat, after that.
Well, I tell you what, a final worthy of any pro.
Yeah, it was awesome. First win ever in the Pro Mod. So that was, yeah, what can I say? Great.
And that last final, really, it could have been anyone's. You had to get it just right, didn't you, with the weather changing?
Yeah, the weather was changing. Yeah, we are close to the gap what we want to go. So yeah, we changed the right direction. So that was awesome.
So now we're looking forward to great things with this car. Consistent as well.
Yeah, consistent as well. 5.9, 6.0. So over the weekend was great. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that you're still number one position in the Motorsport UK points.
Yeah, still number one. Yeah, that's great. We go for it. I want to thank all my sponsors and my team for the hard working on the car. So yeah, what a great weekend. Thank you.
Well, that win for the very popular Voodoo Hemi team here at the STP Summer Nationals at Santipol puts Mark in a great position in the points in the Motorsport UK British Drag Racing Championship at the halfway mark of the season. Huge congratulations also to Kev Slyfield and the Blown Bird team, proud owners of a 5-second race car. Next outing will be the Mopar Euro Nationals here in August at Santipod. We'll see you then.